Hello again, guys and girls, and welcome back for day 2 of the Young Driver test from Abu Dhabi. Sorry I couldn't get this video out to you as soon as I'd hoped. I had a really busy weekend and couldn't get any commentating done. So this is the program for day number 2. Start with a KERS and DRS systems check, followed up by a performance test, then another one of those boring videos on tyre conservation, followed up by a wet weather test, and then the final evaluation test. So start with the KERS and DRS systems check. First, your engineer just tells you to push a couple of buttons just to check that they work. And you know it works because the KERS bar flashes.
Great. Now try activating the DRS. Press it once to open it and a second time to close it. Alternatively, you can press the brake to close it.
And then the DRS check, and there you can see it open and closed.
Okay, you've got a car ahead of you who looks to be practicing their race start. I want you to use both your KERS and DRS to try and overtake them before you cross the finish line up ahead. Whatever you do, don't collide with them.
So now I've got to try and overtake Jules Bianchi in his Ferrari. It's a fairly easy test. As soon as you get the getaway, you can just flip the DRS open and just bash the KERS button and you're past him within the first 3 or 4 seconds of the test. And then it's just a simple, almost straight line aero test down to the finish line. And as long as you don't hit him, you get all of your chevrons.
Good effect, and we're able to pass the car.
So at the bottom of the screen there you can see that I now have the Toro Rosso drive if I want it for career mode. Next up is the KERS and DRS performance test. This one's a bit different to the check because you actually have to negotiate a couple of corners and try not to crash into anyone or be too slow that they run into the back of you, as you'll see in a minute.
Don't make contact with any of them, however. We want clean passes.
So here we're going past Bianchi again in the Ferrari, and then ahead of him is Alex Rossi, I think his name is. He's in the Caterham. And in front of him is Sam Bird, another Brit driving for Mercedes. And there I get a bit of a wiggle on. And coming into this corner I get a red chevron. I think that was from one of them hitting me up the backside, or it might have been them colliding with each other, but somehow I get failed for it. Which I don't think is entirely fair. Codemaster, sort it out. And then just another one across the line, another gold medal. But unfortunately that means I do miss out on a chevron. You see that one's been made red, so I didn't get that one. But you do get it if you don't make any contact with them and you do it all clean. I have gone back and done that chevron just to get the 18 out of 18 and the trophy that comes with it. So now for the tyre conservation video.
There are 4 tyre types available during a race weekend: primes, options, intermediates and wets. Prime tyres will last the longest but have less overall grip than the option tyres. However, the increased grip from the options means they wear out faster. Intermediates are best used when the track is damp, and wets should only be used in heavy rain. The best drivers don't take too much life out of their tyres. This allows them to have more race strategies open to them, as well as allowing them to run tyres with more grip for longer. The best way to avoid excessive tyre wear is by being smooth with your throttle, brake and steering inputs, and avoiding sliding the car out of corners and causing wheel spin, which will destroy tyre life.
So yeah, past that, and anyone who knows anything about Formula 1 knows that spinning tyres is bad. Try and be as smooth as possible, but like I said in the last video, this is just tutorial mode for new players. This is the wet weather test, and I must admit I restarted this several times. I kept missing a certain apex and it was getting really frustrating. And as you can see, the little red 5 is the recommended gear for that corner, and several times I go under it because I just don't have the confidence in the car in the corners. Again, like I said in the last video, this is my first time driving without traction control or ABS, so I'm trying my hardest not to spin out and crash and die into a wall. And this one I kind of cut the corner a little bit, but then still run wide, so I'm just not used to not having any traction at all. So yeah, that took me probably about 20 minutes to do that test, because I just kept missing one apex every time. I could hit the rest fine, but it's just one. And due to completing that, I now have a Force India drive for career mode. This final one is the evaluation test, and it includes, or involves, driving around one lap of the track from a grid start, and you got to do it under specific times. As you can see, my best time there was 1:48. I did complete it, but I went over the finish line backwards. Coming out of the last corner, I lost the back end trying to accelerate too hard and spun it, nearly hit a wall and went over the line backwards. So yeah, third gear into that first corner, and then DRS for that little short straight, and just full throttle through these two corners. Try and get the DRS open as early as possible. Braking down into second gear for this little chicane. Running wide a little bit of understeer there. And then first gear for the hairpin. Again, try and get your throttle as early as possible and the DRS early as possible as well. I use half a bar of KERS down this straight, and then a little bit more on the next straight, and a little bit going over the line. Braking down from the 150 metre board down into first gear for the chicane. Run wide again. You've got to be really careful on that corner to not cut it, otherwise you will get a corner cut warning and penalty, and it will invalidate the lap. Again, DRS open as early as possible, accelerate through the gears, a little bit more KERS usage, and then about the 150 metre board again, down into second, again run wide, understeer as a bitch. Try not to cut that corner as well, otherwise you will get pulled up for it again. Accelerate to third and down to second, I get out to first because it understeered off. DRS open again early as possible, then accelerate through to fifth for these two corners, and then down into recommended second, but I can only do it in first. And then accelerate a little bit, and then down another gear you shouldn't do. Run a little bit wide off track there. And then accelerate through second through this corner, DRS open again. Should take this in fourth, but at this point I'd done it so many times I wanted to just put it in a wall, so I made sure I went very carefully. Second gear for that last corner, and then across the line, just underneath the 1 minute 50 target. 1/10 under. Yeah, pass out again. You can see my best time was nearly a second and a half quicker. And because of that, I now have the Williams drive as well. And that is how I finished the young driver test. 2 gold medals, 17 out of 18 chevrons, due to getting hit up the backside and failing. But I went back and got that one. That's the end of the video now, guys. Thank you very much for watching. My next video will be the start of my career mode. And hey, that actually kind of looks like me in that helmet. Yeah, the next video will be the introduction to my career mode, and I'll just take you through my settings and what I plan to do. So if you could like, comment and subscribe, I shall try and get that next video out to you sort of end of today or tomorrow. Bye.